from Upper West region, and this is how we produce our shea butter based in Upper West region. Here the women, they get it either from the market or from the farms. Then they come and then process the nuts into the shea nuts. It has a process that it goes through. So after that, then you wash it. After washing it, you dry it a little bit. If the sun is so high, you can dry it for maybe 10 minutes then or 5 minutes. That is depending on the sun. Then you take it, gather it, and put it inside your basin. Send it to the grinding mill for it to be broken down into smaller pieces. When you get your smaller pieces, then you come and then you set fire. Roast it like how my grandma is doing it. This is how we roast it. And if you have a roaster tool, a mechanical something, you pour it inside your roaster, put it over fire, and then you roast it. And when you see that the color becomes mellow brown, so you remove it from the fire, then send it to the grinding mill for it to be grounded into paste. Then when you get your paste, you bring it home. When you get the paste, it's like liquid chocolate. You bring it home. If you do it in the evening, you can keep it for it to cool down. Or if it is the same day you want to process it, because it is advised that when you break it, the shea is an organic something. Immediately you break it, you need to start the process. You need to hasten the process. So if you don't hasten the process, it attracts bacteria and things which will make it not to be healthy, or to add some chemicals to it, making it unhealthy for consumption. So if you want to process it the same day after milling it into paste, you can start it from the first day by spreading it on inside basins so that it will cool down for a little before you start kneading it. It is just like the normal kneading, or let me say whisking it, like how we whisk egg in the kitchen. So you knead it either with both hands or with one hand, or if you have a machine, we have a kneader where it can knead it in larger quantities. You can use it, but for here we are not that advanced, so we are using the hand kneading. So we knead it inside earthen wares, bigger earthen wares that we knead it inside. So after kneading it, you knead it for about 30 minutes, and as you are kneading it, depending on the weather, whether it is too cold or hot, it depends on the weather as to which water to put. Whether you are putting hot water, when the weather is too hot, you use cold water. When it is too cold, you use hot water, so that you balance the temperature. So after that, as you are kneading it, you see that the color is changing. It's changing from brown, mellow brown, to white. It is mixed with a little bit white. You get white from it, like a little bit mixed white. Then as you are kneading it on and on, and you see that it's becoming fluffy and it's light. So from there, as you are adding water, you see that the fluffy the fluffy butter is coming together and it's so light. Then you can it's now separated from the water naturally. So you pack it inside a different basin. Then you set fire at a very high temperature. You boil it. When you boil it, it will melt. How you get it solid, it will melt, and then now you see that as it has melted, you see that you are getting the oil on top, and then residue is under. So when you get that, when you see that the oil is now on top, you scoop it out, leaving the residue. you pour that one somewhere. Then you wash your pot. That is, if you are having only one pot, you wash it, or if you are having two, you use the other one, clean it very well. Then you pour it, the butter, the liquid butter, it's like crude butter, you pour it inside the new pot. Then you boil it at a lower temperature, a very low temperature. Then you add a little bit of water into it. Let me explain this. If you are producing, let me say, 2 bags of shea nuts, you can add 1 olonka of water into it. So when you pour the water into it, this time you reduce the fire. You just remove the fire, even if it is 1 firewood that is remaining in it, you remove it and leave it like that, because this time you don't need high temperature for it, because when you put too much of firewood, it mixes the dirt with the oil. That way it won't be separated. So you put it at a low heat, let it boil, like simmer. Let it simmer small. Then you see that the dirt is on top. Then you use your ladle to scoop it out, leaving the butter clean and fresh. So after that, you will allow it to sit down for some 3 to 4 hours. Then you see that every particle or every solid thing that was on top will now settle down. Then you now scoop it into a nice basin where it can be free, like to solidify, where it can get air flowing. So you pour it inside basins, small. You separate it small. Then you keep it somewhere very clean for the next day, so that it will get cool and solidify. Then the next day, you around 6, you now stir it to become more solid. That is where you now get your white or ivory green shea butter right from Upper West region. So the process in all, it takes 3 days for you to get your butter. It takes 3 days from roasting it to kneading and boiling, then to final stage, which is the solidification, and then the packaging day. That is 3 days. And the quantity of shea nut you are using, depending on it, and then depending on the one doing it. But for the standard, it takes 3 days. Yeah, the trees, they grow by themselves. By length, research has been on, and people are now planting it themselves. But it was just a gift from God, and it's still there. But now, because of the cutting down of trees, a lot of shea trees are being cut down, and we are afraid that in the near future we will not be having shea nut trees again. So people like Global Shea Alliance, they are now planting shea trees, so that it will supplement the natural, the God-given ones. The shea tree, we don't have something like waste, like nothing of it goes waste. The shea trees, from its leaves to its branches, to the stem, to the roots, they are used for medicinal purposes. The shea kernels, that is what we use for our shea butter. Then from the shea butter, the shea nut itself, we have a lot of uses for it. After the whole process of shea butter production, the residue from it, that is what these women now uses as firewood or fire fuel. That is now what they use to do the roasting and then the boiling for the next production. So after kneading, the end product of it is being dried and then cut into cakes, which they now use. When they dry, they now use it as firewood or fuel fire. to do the next production. So that is it. And then the ash out of it is used by local women to produce our African black soap based here in Upper West region. We call it Nawala Wala. That is what we use to produce Nawala Wala with the crude oil from the Shea butter. Grandma, how much? That is the translation of Nawala Wala. So this is a sample of it. The woman that comes to buy the ash, this is what she produced out of it, and this is what we call Nawala Wala.
In Dubai, alive for the masses, sell our resources for cheap, leaving the youth jobless and confused. There could be no excuse. There's no be the path we choose. With the wax sun up to sundown, when the blazing heat. No